¿Qué tal a todos en Metalomanía? Pues mi nombre es Cintia Hernández y en el episodio del día de hoy estoy con una invitada muy especial. Ella es Fiona de la banda Rise y pues vamos a platicar un poquito con ella sobre algunas cosas de lo que se está viviendo en la actualidad en el mundo de la música y además vamos a hablar pues sobre su nuevo álbum. Hello Fiona, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
How is the situation right now? You are in UK, right? So how are you living this situation, the quarantine?
Yeah, it's very restrictive here, but we're managing okay, and I think that the general atmosphere is hopeful, and we're just really keen to see us move into a better place.
Okay, and for the people that doesn't know the band, can you tell us a quick story about you and how did you join the band and how do you met the guys?
Yeah, Fiona Rise have been a band for several years now, actually. I think going right back to 2009, if my memory serves, and they'd already released 2 studio albums when I was asked to join the band back in 2016. And the band very much focused on symphonic metal, certainly very orchestral, very symphonic, very quite elaborate orchestrations, really interesting music. And when I was asked to join in 2016, the band were hoping to start to tour more substantially and to make a new record.
Okay, did you start with the second album?
It was the 3rd album for me.
3rd album, okay.
Yeah, 3rd album.
Okay, and are you a part of the composition music right now? The guys are in Greece and you are in the UK, so how is the situation with the rehearsals and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, our collaboration began in 2016, which we were in the process of undertaking a European tour for the Adeline album, which was released at the end of 2015. So we were busy promoting that album, performing that live. So we had some substantial touring during 2016 and 17. And the songwriting process really began early 2018. And we also had quite a few festivals and shows during that time. And we began to write and started to look at recording last year, and then mixing the album and so forth. So I was spending quite a lot of time traveling to Athens in Greece to be with the band, to write, to rehearse, to tour all across Europe. And we also did some things from distance. So some things were done electronically, via the internet, so back and forth with ideas, songwriting. But mostly we tried to get together, myself and Gus especially, to collaborate on the writing process.
Okay, and the new album is out in April, I think. What is the concept of this new album called Enigma?
Well, yeah, Enigma came out on the 10th of April, and the album was a little bit of a change of direction, not massively, but a little bit more into contemporary metal, as well as including those symphonic elements. So the last album, Adeline, focused more on concept and was heavy on the symphony side of things, the symphonic side. So this album is much more incorporating those elements, but also moving into a bit more of a contemporary style to experiment with more progressive feel, and also to add a little bit more sort of experimentation with voice and other things, and also the collaboration of myself and Blasis as a brutal voice. So really interesting combination of dark and light in a way, Gus likes to say. So we've got the sort of softer, more feminine vocal from myself and the harder male vocal from Blasis.
Yeah, I think that it's very common to hear in symphonic metal bands 2 voices. In personal, I love that combination. So we can discover that in Fallen or Rise. And what do you think about the metal scene? Do you see too many differences about between Greece and the UK?
Well, I think it's a really, really interesting question, and I think globally there is, a real strong metal community where, there are so many different kinds and shades of sound these days. There's no one size fits all, and I think that offers such great variety. And I think that culturally we learn a lot from each other as we listen to music from other places, other nations. And I think in Greece there's been a really strong history of power metal, and also quite interesting, strong power rock bands as well. So there's this really sort of strong sense of voice, and even within the Greek music scene generally, aside from metal, there's always a really amazing combination of instrumental work, really technical, really quite creative Greek folk music, as well as strength in voice, really powerful, passionate music. And I think that we try to capture the idea of power and passion, but we try to also keep ourselves open to these global ideas of metal, and we're quite inspired by very different ideas from the UK, of course, from my influences, but also from the States, from all over Europe really, and all over South America too.
Okay, are you many influences? What are your musical influences?
Yeah, great question. They keep changing. I think every time every time we have a few more years on the scene, I discover new artists. But I think generally when I look back over my influences, I definitely have been quite inspired personally by a lot of bands such as Dream Theater, Amorphis, Rammstein are one of my all-time favorites. But also, in terms of different kinds of styles and rock, I've really been a big follower of Bon Jovi for many years. Queen is another, Journey, T-Rex, even going right back to the 70s.
It's not necessary that all the time will be rock influences. We have pop music and a lot of styles, like you said before. So,
absolutely, yeah. I mean, I really enjoy Lady Gaga too. I think she's got some fantastic songwriting, great voice, really fantastic ideas and personality.
What do you think about, we are passing these rough times, so how do you expect to the musical scene after all this kind of mess, so the virus, and what did you expect for the band in the future, to do tours, to do concerts?
Yeah, it's a very difficult situation, and very, very unpredictable. And and for us, we're very aware that for us as individuals, we're in different countries, so that it's very different here in the UK than it is, for instance, for guys in Athens. So we're very aware that it's a constantly changing and evolving situation. So we keep our eye on what's happening, to trying to make plans as best we can. I think generally for the music industry, I mean, this has been such a decimating and the most challenging time ever faced. I think that, but we are a resilient people. Musicians, we find a way, and I've already seen and witnessed so many amazing accomplishments by using online platforms to stream music, to play live shows. And I think that's fantastic that people are still able to do that and access that. So I think that's going to be our world for a little while. There's some really creative activities going on, and I think that it will take us time to recover, but I think that when we do recover, we're going to come back in force, and people are going to be hungry for it and find a renewed passion. Renewed passion in live music even.
I think that people that doesn't enjoy the same music will be open to discover another things, and this will be a great success for the bands and for everyone. And talking about shows, what are your best gig experience? I think that you share the stage with some great bands, great artists. So tell us about a memorable.
Yeah, oh, amazing! I think my most memorable has to be when we supported Nightwish. I think it was such a truly wonderful and unique experience, because I mean, it was such a big production, huge stage, and I actually watched the stage being built 2 days before. It was such a massive, so many people were involved in making that show happen, and they worked so hard. And it was, it's 35 degrees and we're playing, and there was no air conditioning, there were mosquitoes everywhere. It was awful, but at the same time it was truly wonderful, because the crowd were amazing, and that was the biggest thing for me, is how amazing the audience were. Such energy and such passion and such enjoyment. That just always makes me feel so alive. And it was wonderful also to meet members of Nightwish, and Floor Jansen especially for me. She was really, really wonderful to talk with, and to watch her on stage side was just a complete privilege. But I also really enjoyed touring with Paradise Lost. They were true gentlemen, really experienced professionals, and really fun too, really fun people.
Oh, I will. When was that in
That was 2017 with Paradise Lost, so that was in Russia, and it was 2018 with Nightwish, so it's a while ago now. We spent most of last year finishing recording, preparing the album, with a view to do lots of shows this year, but unfortunately this has not been the case, so we're a little bit out of sync in terms of our writing.
For this experience, and I think that are many more, what did you tell to that bands that are starting with this process they like to share the stage, or I don't know, any advice that you
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great question. I think that what I've learned over the years is to really, first of all, be prepared, be practiced, be rehearsed. Be the best you can be in your environment. And I think that if you have the confidence in your performance and you're very well prepared, you can then focus on enjoying the moment and delivering the best show that you can, but also enjoying the moment. Because I think sometimes it can be very nervous to be up there to support bigger bands, to play bigger shows. And sometimes the nerves can outweigh and get in the way of your enjoyment of the performance. And I think you need to have a relaxed attitude, and you need to be a little bit adaptable and agile, because the situation on the road is never straightforward. You always get problems, you always get changes, so you have to be quite an adaptable person and manage your stress levels very well, lots of deep breathing, and also have a sense of humour and enjoy the downtime when you get it. Sleep lots, eat well, stay healthy, and be very prepared, and then everything else will fall into place and you'll enjoy yourself.
Can you say something to the fans? Here we have a different metal scene. We doesn't have many female front bands, so or well, we have, but not in the symphonic metal scene. We have many heavy metal and I don't know, death metal bands or technical, but no, we doesn't have many symphonic metal bands. So I think that a scene in every country it's very, very different. So can you say that about the female front scene in Europe? And
well, I think that the whole metal scene has come a long way in the last 20 years, where the role of women is concerned. And going back 2 or 3 decades, it was very rare to see women in metal bands in an underground scene. I mean, metal has become much more mainstream actually as well. So you'll see far more people of very diverse backgrounds, different genders, different race, all different ethnicities now actually coming together on stage. And I'd like to see more of that personally, because I think there's so many amazing opportunities for diversity across the scene, and we are starting to see it. And I think that 20 years ago it was difficult to be a woman in metal, whether you were a singer or a guitarist or a drummer or a bassist or something else. And we needed to have a platform, and in the early days of the spread of symphonic metal, we needed to have the label female fronted, because it helped to keep us together as a community and break through. But nowadays, I think in Europe especially, that's becoming less of an issue, needing this label. And actually that label can be a bit of a barrier in terms of people pigeonholing the band into a certain kind of music, whereas we have female musicians and singers across so many different elements of metal, you know, different styles, you know, death metal included, you know, so it's fantastic. And I think that it just goes to show that, you know, strong women and strong men stand alongside of each other and become stronger together. And I think that's the key message really, is find strong people that believe in the same things as you believe in and share the same values and the same passions, and you'll make great music and you'll go far.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we are not only women or only males. You need to find the equality and the same positive thinking. And well, Fiona, thanks a lot for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this little time that we need to see different faces and talk about good things, and not only thinking about this pandemic thing. And take care of yourself, and we hope to hear from you and the guys soon here in Mexico, here in Latin America. And I don't know, a special message to the people that see us here in Alemania.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your wonderful support and the opportunity to talk with you today and to communicate with everybody in Mexico and Latin America. It's fantastic that you've got such great enthusiasm and, you know, such a beautiful culture and so vibrant and passionate, and we absolutely are so thrilled that you've enjoyed our music and that you're listening to it and talking about it. And we certainly one day want to be able to come over to South America and spend some time in Mexico and other countries. So keep watching this space and keep believing and stay safe and well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.